What's up, nerds? Own Goal here, bringing you a video on how to dive onto a box. We've got a pretty typical greenskins build, like bunch of melee infantry, bunch of cav, a little bit of skirm cav to contest points early, and then some bullets like this doom divered around things out in our reinforcements. Our opponent's got a defensive GC build going in on like the harmony bonuses, caster, lord. Lord's a little bit of an atypical choice, but otherwise the build looks reasonably stock. You know, you could like go plus or minus a little bit of units here on the drum for like more shooting, but it more or less results in having the same build. So we're gonna do like a pretty bog standard game where we try to apply some point pressure without getting shot, set up a good encirclement, and then dive. So this is just like your bog standard how to dive a box. We've taken Grom. Grom's a really strong Greenskins Lord right now. He's got great stats and a good aura, and is pretty good at taking out key backline pieces. So starting it off really fast, we've got a Vanguard unit on each point. We do that against defensive factions to put them on a timer, because otherwise, they can like walk up, get a couple points, build out their box, and have a lot more time before they're forced to push onto the points. And it's basically free. Like, they aren't going to get too many shots on us. With a glare caster, when we can, we want to shoot the arty. On this map, I think it ends up not working out because of the terrain. Because oh, actually, no, we could have got it. Interesting. I thought that there was like a slight hill decline there, so they were behind the hill. But that's okay. We're poking their lord with glare, and it is really efficient at these expensive SEs. So we see he's gonna set up on like this little incline here, which means we want to get like probably a pincer. So a little bit of stuff here, a little bit of stuff there, and then try to like swing around the back of the box and hit the front. I'm gonna fast forward what we set up. In this situation, we see that he doesn't have like a caster or anything really good to threaten the Doom Diver. So we bring it in and start poking his SEs because it's pretty good at that. And if it gets to sit there the whole game, it'll get between 1,000 and 2,000 value. And he can't really afford to like send these things back and dive it because we can counter summon something, like our 300 Wolf Riders. Okay, so he's a little flatter than he should be. Like with this kind of setup, unless he's actually going to go take this point, he wants to play a little more defensive. So there's an opportunity to slide in on both sides, and his front side is very strong. So we'll be looking for that. And Grum has regen, so a lot of the time you want to like get him in to distract enemy ranged on the approach. And in this case, he doesn't have that much ranged infantry either, so we can actually just kind of send Grom in and get a few free hits. But the purpose of this is to attract cannon fire and mess with his formation more so than to get like a large amount of damage. So we're setting up, trying to get around the sides a little bit, trying to get these. This is like a slightly sloppy collapse. It would be better if these were all approaching at a similar time. But in this case, we are actually not needing to dive right away because we're doing more damage than he is between glare and our catapults. The catapult's trying to get his caster, but he sees what we're doing, so we switch over to the war drum. This will kill most SEs efficiently, so just take what you can get. You don't need to chase a better target all game. I'll fast forward. So now we see that he's exposed, like he's drawn out a little bit, trying to push over to the center, so we opt to go in. A little bit disorganized, like ideally when you dive, everything arrives at the same time, but there's a lot going on in this game and a lot to micro. And because his ranged is already engaged and pulled out a little bit, he's not actually in a great position to punish us for having this like slightly slow timing of arrival. Oh, that's pretty nice. He got a Chromin charge, and then a Jade Lancer charge. So in that case, we had two Cav charging each other, and he used the Chromin to charge break ours. So his Cav got a charge, and the Chromin melee intercepted ours, and we didn't get our charge off. So that trade went well for him. But we've got Grom in there applying his melee aura and making everything have ITP, so we'll probably grind it out. While that's going on, we tap the Jade Warriors with our Cav, and then after they're unbraced from our infantry attack, and then we use their mass to plow through onto the back line. So that's a really common tactic, like touch their front line with the infantry, tap it with the Cav, roll through onto the back line. If you can do it at an angle or through the gap, it's better, but sometimes you just have to come at it from like a front side. Grom doesn't really want the duel, so he runs away. He's very heavy. So like he doesn't have the biggest model, so he's pretty good at getting out. He's very good at killing SEs, but he needs to have some kind of advantage, like supporting Cav, because he won't beat them 1v1. He just does good damage. Okay, so now we've got all the points. We're winning the fight by a little bit, and we're sending in Cav and Chariots to reinforce. GC can sometimes grind us out if their range stays online, especially these Grenadiers. So we put a lot of resources into getting those, but weren't quite successful initially. And now we're just really far ahead. The Greenskins have been routing a lot of units, so like we actually can still lose, but because we have this many points, he's got to win by a lot in this fight, because once he caps this, he still needs to cap the other two before we get enough. And we're probably also winning the army fight. We've got Grom up in the middle because we want to keep our units from routing, and also he's tough. If your Groms are ending the game at like maximum health, you probably weren't aggressive enough with Grom. So now we just kind of trade stuff off, play for the points. Most of the game was decided in the initial dive, and now we're like in cav trading. One trick is you want to avoid the Jade Warriors fighting at the same time as your other cav. So if you can get melee infantry on them and like keep them away from cav fights, that's good. And the like obviously you don't want halberds fighting your cav, but like kind of the level 2 is if you can take cav fights a little bit further away from where healthy halberds are, it buys you some more space. Rather than just like reactively running away, you get to like plan where the fights go a little bit. The Doom Diver's been just cleaning up, shooting any SE it can find, or really expensive ranged inf if it can't find that. And now we're far enough ahead that we'll pretty much just take it home. Like the eyeball check says the Greenskins are winning, so we'll fast forward and he concedes. So that's the dive. Taking a quick look at the value, Grom did really well. He attracted a lot of attention and paid for himself. Our caster didn't do great, honestly. I think that the terrain might have been intercepting some of the missiles there. Have to go back and look at that. He did a very nice job with the combined tactics of dropping birds on my cav and then hitting it with his cav. So his cav did quite well. And ours did not do well. And then we made up a lot of it with the Doom Diver, which did phenomenally. His unconventional Lord pick got crushed. Really only his cannon there, and his starter did well. Caster did well, bombarding cav. Cool. So that's a box dive. Hope you found that helpful. If you like this kind of content, remember to subscribe. See you later, nerds.